If you've ever said, why do I keep doing this to myself? Or maybe I know what I've got to do, I've just got to do it, only to then find that you're never doing it, then this is the episode for you. I'm going to take you through the real reasons that you may be self-sabotaging, what it shows up as, what you can do about it, and how you can break the cycle so that you can go ahead, do the things you need to do, and achieve your goals. Welcome to Start Over and Rise. I'm Sara Burton, your host, and this is the podcast for you if you are ready for fresh starts to reclaim your power and create the life that you truly desire. Whether you're navigating a major life change, recovering from a setback, or simply just feeling a bit stuck or that something is missing, this is your space for inspiration, practical tools, and empowering conversations. Each week, we'll dive into topics that help you step into the person you're meant to be so that you can rise to your new desired heights. Because here's the truth. It's never too late to make a change, and it's never too early to start over. So let's get started. Hey gorgeous, I'm Sara, your host of Start Over and Rise, and welcome to this episode. When you realize that you are self-sabotaging, it can feel like the ultimate betrayal to yourself. It can be exhausting because you're saying you're going to do one thing and then your actions seem to be completely counteractive, and sometimes you don't even know why. We procrastinate, we ghost our goals, we scroll instead of taking action, we let other people get in our way, and we may even pick fights with people who are actually trying to support us. It's frustrating. It's beyond irritating, but it's not a sign of failure. It's actually a signal, a sign for you to start paying attention and do something about it. It is a chance for you to grow. It's a chance for you to learn something about yourself. It's a sign that your system is trying to protect you from discomfort, risk, rejection, or simply change. So let's start by talking about what self-sabotage actually looks like, because it's not always obvious. So here are a few examples, and some of these may feel a little familiar. So you've committed to get up and go to the gym 3 times a week. It's the night before you're due to go to the gym, and a friend calls you up and invites you out for a drink. You think to yourself, why not? I deserve it. I've worked hard all day, and yes, I'm going to go out. You then end up staying out too late, you drink too much, and you wake up feeling like you can't be asked, and there's no way you're going to be going to the gym. And you miss your session, which means you're not going to achieve your 3 times in a week. You have just sabotaged your progress. How about this one? You work from home. You are mid-flow in creating something that you really need to do in order to help you move your business forward. A friend or a family member phones up and says, I'm popping around for a cuppa in about 5 minutes, if that's okay. And you say, that's fine. They end up staying for hours and you don't get your task completed. And it simply goes on your to-do list for another day. Or perhaps, now no judgment on any of these because I've done all of them, but maybe you've done this. You're doing great on your diet. You've been making great progress. You've been eating well. You're losing weight. You're super proud of yourself. But out of nowhere, you decide one night you're going to order a takeaway. You tell yourself it's just one night and you go completely overboard. The thing is, it doesn't stay as just one night. You then tell yourself that you've broken your diet and you may as well carry on for the rest of the week and you'll start again on Monday. Total self-sabotage. Or maybe it's something more personal. Your partner has finally been showing up consistently and doing all of the things you ever wanted them to do. Everything is going really, really well. And then suddenly it starts to scare you. You pick a fight with them, you become avoidant, and you completely withdraw yourself. Self-sabotage. It is so easily done. Self-sabotage shows up in micro moments. You don't even know it's happening until after it's happened and you start to become conscious of these things. It's not bad behavior. We have to start to recognize that we don't beat ourselves up over it and we actually start to question what it's all about. And know this, it really is your system trying to keep you in the familiar, in that safe zone. So essentially, self-sabotage is a fear response. What we need to do is we need to start to recognize that self-sabotage isn't a flaw. It's not a personality trait. It's your subconscious saying, nope, we're not doing that. And it turns up in the strangest of times. You may consciously be doing the things you need to do and really getting on with things, cracking on, but your subconscious is saying to you, no, we're not doing that. And at first, it's really hard to spot. So as always, self-awareness is the key to this. You start with actually recognizing what you're doing when you're self-sabotaging. And then you've got to ask yourself, what is this a fear of? What is my system trying to protect me against? Is it external judgment? Is it success? Is it failing? Or is it just a case of stepping outside of what is familiar to you? And it just feels a little bit risky. So it's really important that you stop, you pause, and you try to understand what this fear is. Because if you don't tackle it, you're going to find yourself repeating the same patterns over and over again. And that's when you realize that actually, whilst you're busy, you're not really changing anything. Nothing is moving on. It's time for you to start over and rise from this. And the first step is to realize that your thoughts and your mind is actually running the show here. And you need to become conscious of the subconscious in order to regain that control and do the things you want to do. And this is why when I do the work with my clients, either through the Start Over and Rise program or on a one-to-one basis, we dig beneath the surface. We take a look at what are those fears. We get really curious about what could potentially be holding us back. And we look at those beliefs and those fundamental aspects that are actually subconsciously running the show. We look at the beliefs, we look at the regrets, we look at the resentments, we look at the emotional clutter. And then we process, we reassess things, rearrange those thoughts so that they can turn into fuel for what we actually want to be doing, rather than settling for making life more difficult than it has to be, or constantly pulling ourselves back from what we really want to be achieving. So I want you to think about self-sabotage in 3 parts. Self-sabotage is the act. Fear is the driver, the motivation to actually sabotage, but it's the belief underneath that really needs sorting out. So let's take one of those examples that I gave you earlier. The one where you're eating well, you're sticking to your diet and you're really making some progress. And then you order the takeaway and you use it as an excuse to ditch the diet and say you're going to start again on Monday. The sabotage act is the ordering of the takeaway. The fear behind it might actually be that you could lose weight and get to your target if you carry on sticking with your diet. And the belief behind all of that, the subconscious thing that's going on, might be that actually you're afraid to continue to lose weight because perhaps it's a case of you don't want to have the loose skin that is going to come with the weight loss. Now, it might sound crazy, but it could be something as simple as that. When you become conscious of whatever that belief is, then you can start to address it and you take away that fear, that motivation that leads you to self-sabotage. If some of this is beginning to land for you and you're suspecting that you might actually be doing more self-sabotage than you're giving yourself credit for, then it's time to do something about it. This is a very common thing with whatever you are trying to change right now, or however you are trying to improve your life. Self-sabotage can come up the minute you start to come out of your comfort zone, the minute you start to be really beginning to make some progress. So don't worry about it. See this as a major win today that you may have recognized that you're doing this. Now, because this is such a common thing, I've created a really powerful quiz, and it is designed to help you to take a look at what are those subconscious things, those behaviors, those thoughts you might be having that are actually holding you back. It will help you identify which of the noise is actually running the show right now. Now, you can find that at saraburton.co.uk/noise quiz. If you're watching it on YouTube, I've got the link below. And if you're listening on the podcast, you will find the link in the show notes as well. It's totally free. It takes a couple of minutes and it will blow your mind. And it will give you that all important first step to focus on to start to eliminate this kind of behavior. Okay, so let's get back to it. Do you see, it's rarely about the actual behavior. Self-sabotage is one of the noises that I talk about in my 5-step Start Over and Rise method, which is the first one, which is called Stop the Noise. Now, the others in that step of stopping the noise are negativity, overwhelm, interference. Self-sabotage is right in there, and then emotional dysregulation. And these are the 5 areas that really can be the thing that is holding you back. Now, once you've nailed it, this noise becomes a vague whisper. But sometimes that noise that is bubbling under the surface is really trying to tell you to pay attention. And oh my goodness, I want to tell you something. When you discover what the noise is and you start to quiet it, oh my goodness, everything changes. You will find yourself accelerating towards your goals, doing the things that you need to do, and with the discipline and the fun and the joy and the intrepidation that makes shift happen. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you would have heard me mention many times unshakable confidence. And this stuff, this noise, the crap that we have to get through and clear the way is the route to unshakable confidence. Now, what is unshakable confidence? Let's just take a moment here. It is that confidence you have that does not disappear or disintegrate the minute something triggers you or something that has come your way that is completely outside of your control. It means that nothing outside of you has the power to pull you off course, to pack you down, shrink you down to playing small again. That is unshakable confidence. That is about self-trust, self-belief, self-love, and everything in between. It comes when you truly know who you are, what you are about, what you stand for, and where you are going. It's the stuff that allows you to pick yourself up when you fall and get straight back onto your next move. So what can you do next? Well, I definitely recommend you do the quiz. But if you're listening now, I also want you to just ask yourself the question, what keeps pulling me off course? When I look at my week and think I haven't actually stepped forward with what I wanted to achieve this week, have a look. What happened? What stepped into place that you allowed yourself to be distracted by or you destroyed so that it prevented you from moving forward? Really take a look at that and then ask yourself, what's going on here? What is the fear behind the action? And what is the belief that I am telling myself is true that has allowed that fear to come up? And then what I want you to do is choose a micro response. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, instead of trying to overhaul the whole thing and pick everything apart, I want you to put something into place that when you recognize that you are just about to sabotage yourself or that you've just done it, okay, maybe you're recognizing it after the event. That's fine because that's still a level of self-awareness. You will get to that point where you're able to stop yourself beforehand. But when you recognize it has happened, I want you to have a little micro response to it. Just one thing that you can do that will help you cement this awareness. It could be you just pause and have a little think about it. It could be that you take a deep breath and you really feel what was going on. Or it may be that you just pose that question, what made me do that? So I don't want you to try and be perfect about this. I just want you to start to break the pattern. Now, when it comes to that micro response or that particular question, it's a great move to write it down on a post-it note and put it somewhere visible. So if you recognize that your self-sabotage happens in the kitchen, for example, or at your desk, wherever it may be most commonly coming up for you, put it on a post-it note so that you can see what is really going on here. And that might just help you trigger that micro response when you recognize that something's not right here. I'm self-sabotaging. You will be amazed how quickly this becomes a wonderful little habit and how quickly you can start to turn things around. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you got value from this episode, please like and subscribe or share or follow, depending on where you're listening or whether you're watching. And I would love to hear from you. What were your key takeaways from today? Have you recognized a self-sabotage today? If you're watching on YouTube, pop it in a comment below and I will reply to each and every one of them. I would love to hear what landed for you today, or what self-sabotage you've recognized that you would love to start to work on and kick it to the curb. And just a reminder, if you are serious about making change, if you are serious about diving a little bit deeper and working out what's holding you back, then go take that quiz and you can start to get the support, the clarity, and some of the tools to help you overcome this so that you can make your shift happen. And there's a couple of things I don't want you to forget. The first one is you don't have to do it all in one go. Just take one little step today and you are on your way to making progress. And of course, my final words are always, it's never too late to make a change and it's never too early to start over and rise from where you are right now to where you want to be. You just have to take that first step. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.